I know it's been forever since I've done a vlog, and I have a really good reason. The past 8 months have been super busy with projects and keeping promises to my clients. But I have been recording some really cool behind the lens videos, which I'm gonna put together in the next couple months because winter slows down just enough for me to be able to get a little bit caught up. Well, a couple weeks ago, I posted about some new gloves that I got. And my main reason for getting these gloves is that they are heated all the way up into the fingertips. And I have this thing where if I'm out doing chores for even like a half hour, I only have 2 horses, I don't have long chores, but my fingers would start to hurt so bad that I'd have to go in. And then I would go in and I would still have cold, painful fingers until like 10 in the morning. And when I shared about these on Facebook, I had a couple of photographers say, would those work for photography? And my first thought was, I don't think so, because you can see the fingertips are pretty thick. And for photography, you need quite a bit of dexterity. So when I woke up to 8 inches of fresh, fluffy snow, the sun shining, but also temps of -13 with a wind chill in the -30s, I thought, well, this would be a good day to test them out and do a vlog about it. So as I started to get prepared, I chose my new 1DX Mark II, which I haven't even talked about, but it's just an amazing camera. And the reason I chose it is the most accurately focusing camera I have ever owned. It nails focus time and time and time again and blows my mind. And I knew that because I like to thumb focus, that I was gonna need the best possible chance of getting accurate focus when the thumb here is really thick. The other decision that I made was to shoot in aperture priority. Now normally I always shoot in manual, but aperture priority would mean less time moving the dials around, and so I set my ISO to 125 because it's very bright out, and then I set my aperture to f2.8 and I headed out. And I got Fritzy unblanketed and ready to go. The nice thing about blankets is she's not super furry and she's very clean, so that did not take very long. And then I put her out into a paddock with fresh snow. And I took a couple of test shots and realized everything was gonna be really blown out. And so I did the exposure compensation with aperture priority, and I clicked it down 2, 3, maybe 4 clicks, and it was a little too much. Most of my images were just a little too underexposed for my liking. However, at ISO 125, even increasing them to like a +1 or +2 on exposure was not a big deal. The other challenge was trying to chase a horse around in the snow by myself when she really just kind of wants to hang out where I am and see what I'm doing. So I got a whip with a bag on the end, and I would kind of shake that every once in a while to rile her up. The other thing is, it's cold for them too. So I didn't want to make her sweaty or hot, and I didn't want her to roll because I didn't want her to get wet and then try and put the blanket on top of that. So I had to be really careful also with my horse. So this was also a very short photo shoot, not so much because of my comfort, but just because I really care about the health of my own horses. So I made it through the whole photo shoot with warm hands, and I was actually sweating and had to turn them down. In fact, my whole self was sweating because I was wearing coveralls and a sweatshirt and a barn coat. And I mean, I was toasty. I was like pulling stuff off because I was so warm. And it was -10 degrees. Can you believe that? So to wrap this up, what I will say is, absolutely, I think you can do photography with these gloves. It's a little tricky to focus because I use thumb focus. I did try and go to shutter button focus while I was shooting, and I just can't do that because I like to do focus recompose, and it's tricky when you want to also be in AI servo mode. So that was probably the biggest challenge. But as far as pushing the shutter, I mean, that's easy to do. It'll respond. The gloves have leather on the palms. And like I said, if you need to be able to take your hand out and change something, but I can move the dial on the back. I could even have moved the shutter dial too. So absolutely, I would recommend these for photography, but you have to have realistic expectations about dexterity. Even when it comes to doing my chores, there are times when I'm attaching blanket straps or pouring supplements that I have to take the glove off and I have to do something with a bare hand. But the great thing is once I put my hand back in the gloves, then they're comfortable and warm again. So I'm gonna link below for where you can buy these awesome gloves on Amazon. And then what's coming up next is some behind the lens footage and the resulting photos from my photo shoot.
What do you think? Ready to play? Are you ready to play? Fritzy, come on. Do your Fritzy thing. Hi, Sweet Pea. Yes, there's that signature smile.